What's up, everybody? Hello. I've got my camera back, setting back away, so hopefully that will keep it from overheating. We'll see how much we can get through. Anyway, I'm gonna get started and see what we can do. Hello, hello. Hi. Working from this side today, so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. Let's see, what am I gonna make? I'm going to make, I don't know. I'm for sure gonna make a hummingbird, that's for sure. I have a couple of ideas floating around in my brain, so we'll see what comes out. Let's see. Here's one ready to go. Just going to take a solid rod. I don't know how well y'all can hear me. I don't know if you can make comments and I can see them. I'm just not sure. But we'll see what happens. Hope everybody's staying safe. Hope you're enjoying your spring. Everything's beautiful here in Arkansas. A lot of the flowers have bloomed out. It's not officially spring yet, but it's getting there. Pretty cold and rainy today, though. We had 80 degrees a couple of days ago, and now last night it was down to 37. Today it's in the 40s, so it's just been kind of crazy temperature-wise. So I'm just making this into a ball about the size that I want the hummingbird to be. And then I've got to clean it off. It's got a lot of gunk on it. Has lots of cruds. So I'm just going to go through and scrape off all the little, I call them scuzz. It's got scuzzies. This allows my glass to be really crystal clear. I think it just helps it to be a lot prettier. So I probably won't talk much, but you're welcome to watch while I work. That's my scuzz bucket. That's why I call it scuzz on here, because it goes into the scuzz bucket. So I'm going to implode a flower. I've been wanting to do a white gold fumed flower. I haven't done one of those in quite a while, so I'm going to melt this to where I need it. I'm just going to press it down nice and flat. That's called the Maria. This part right here is called the Maria. So I'm going to draw my flower design on there. Let's see, first I need to pull some white. So I have a little bitty piece of white right here I'm going to use. So I'm going to pull that out. make a couple stringers. These little skinny pieces that I use for drawing on are called stringers. And that's just because they get really thin. This is Lotus White. It's my favorite white to use, but it's almost impossible to get a hold of. And I think this is my very last little piece of Lotus White. I have some on back order. No telling how long it's going to be before I can get it. So it's kind of like working with gold, really. And I'll save the rest of that little bit for doing my eyes on my hummingbirds. So now I'm going to use these little white stringers to draw on the Maria after I gold fume it. So I'm going to turn my fan on real quick. It's going to be loud, sorry guys, but I have to have it in order to do the gold fuming so I don't get sick. So to gold, I turn up my oxygen quite a ways, and I'll see if I can't get a good heavy fume on here. So here's the real gold. This is a little bit of of 24 karat real gold, just a little chunk. You can see that. It's real super shiny. Anyway, I'm going to use that to put it in the flame here at the tip of the flame, and then the flame is going to have so much pressure going that it's going to blow that to this Maria, and I'm going to catch it on there. I want that real heavy. So now you can see on the Maria, it's real shiny. Need some light back here, don't we? I don't know if you can see it in the light here. Oh, there you go. See that reflection? That's gold. Real gold on there. So now I'm going to trap that in with my stringer, and I'm going to turn my flame back down so I can do my stringer. And I got to get the Maria heated back up enough, but not so much that it burns the gold off. That's something I think that you learn in time with doing it too. So I'm just going to layer my stringer on. Cut the tip of that off. Not wanting to stick on there. Snip it off. And I'm going to do another row right here. Hang on. Okay. Try again. center, I'm just going to do some little dots. And that's going to trap that gold in there too. So now you can see the Maria. Might be able to see it better from over here. So now I'm going to start to work that into my glass. And I'm just going to do a light little push. That's trapping the gold all around it, which is what I want to do. Now I'm going to cut into it a little bit. That's going to give a little bit of that gold over the edges of the flower from cutting it in like that. It'll be real subtle. But now you saw how white that white was. Now it's going to be a really beautiful soft pink. I hope as heavy as I got it, it's going to be a brighter pink. So now I'm going to burn the gold off. I don't know that you can see it from your point of view, but from mine I can see it burning it off. And all it's going to leave behind is what's trapped. And while it's doing that, it's actually starting to implode. So you got to keep turning it. Burn the gold off the back end. Give it a light press. So now it's all an angle of how you hold it. Hold it like that, it's going to build up down here and it's going to make a ball. Hold it like this, it's going to make it go in, it's going to concave and make the clear go over the sides. And then the color will go up inside. I call it growing. It makes the color grow to do it this way. If you hold it sideways, perfectly sideways like that, it lets it really grow really slow. In some designs, that's what you want it to do. And some colors are stiffer than other colors. They take a hotter heat than the clear, so some of the other colors are hard to work up into the glass, and it just takes time and patience. This one works fairly fast. I'm going to turn that fan off real quick. So I'm not working it super fast. I'm just going to work it nice and slow. Just a slight angle. Now, a lot of glass blowers will roll it round and round and round and round in circles, and I just roll mine back and forth. It's easier, I have better control, and I haven't found not one bit of a difference doing it that way. Now I'm gonna set it down, and I'm not really pushing hard. It's mostly just the weight of the glass that's giving it some push. And I'm going to repeat that step again. Push it just a little bit. Now I'm going to put some leaves on it. I have my green stringer right here, and I'm gonna do some spiky leaves on it. Bunch of little leaves. They don't have to be perfect, but they're on there. All leaves are different, that's for sure. So I'm just going to press those in like that. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to give them a little push. All I'm doing is grabbing the end of the color with the tip of my, this is a brass knife. Brass won't melt in the flame like this, so it's perfect for this. But I'm just barely touching the tip of the colored and pushing it up there where I melt it. And we're back to the start. So, and I see a little piece of scuzz on there that I want to get off before I go any farther. There it is. Okay. Now start melting those leaves up in while the flower continues to grow. Sometimes I'll do a straight on like that. It's kind of a finger burner sometimes, accidentally. It doesn't feel so good. So you have to be real careful doing that so it doesn't shoot down the rod or off to the side of the piece that you're working on. I just want it to work in the colored glass a little bit more. Now I'm just going to turn my rod a little bit, give it a little bit of change. I'm going to press it. See what's happening to the pattern. The flower pattern is getting smaller. And the leaves are still pretty much pronounced on the outside. They still have to work way in. really starting to grow in there. Implode. The leaves are starting to implode real nice. Now, before I push again, I'm just going to let it cool down at the top a little bit because I don't want to lose that design. I'll let you watch it as it cools. See if this will show up behind this white box. Here's the bottom of it. Not much left of the bottom. It's all going up inside the clear. So there's the color. Now you can see it. It's a real pretty pink on top of that white. See the color difference? That pink is the gold. That's the real gold fumes that was trapped on the glass. Okay, so now I'm going to get it back in the flame, and I'm going to reduce it down just a little bit on the back side of it. If you get the top of it too hot, if you get the front part too hot up here at the top of the flour, and you go to smash, it'll smash the top of your flour down. So you have to be careful to, so that you don't destroy your pattern. You don't want to destroy your flour. I'm reading your comments. Nice. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll try to answer them for you. So I'm just working this so that I can press it again. So now I'm going to take the center of that and pull that out. This will give me the stem of the flour. Get that a little bit hotter. And by pulling that out, that gives me a real pretty stem. Now I'm going to pull the green to the center, and then I'll close it all up, because this green's going to wrap that stem. Just going to clean it up. Makes it nice and clean. Gives you a clean break. Now I'm going to slowly close this in and let that clear come all the way over the side, so that flower will be up in the belly really nice. You can slowly see it coming over the sides. Closing up that center. Pressed it one more time just to close that up real nice. The rod's not getting hot, but that ball sure is. I can feel the heat coming off of it. Now I have this real pretty green that I wanted to use. It's called, it's not a sparkle green. It's like, it's called pearl green. It's not the original pearl green that I used before that was a limited amount, limited edition. This is a different one, but it's still really pretty and really silky. Just has a beautiful color to it. And I think this green will contrast with this pink and white really well. And I'm just going to do it all green. Not going to mix any colors with it this time. This is going to be his tail. I want to make sure that that's melted in really, really good, because anywhere that it touches and it's not melted in, you're probably going to get a nice big crack. I'm going to elongate this tail a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. That's going to make a really nice tail. Now I'm going to put what's called a punty on. All it is a piece of glass, but you got to get the temperature just right. Ooh, that grain's beautiful, guys. It has a pearl essence to it. It really is a nice pearl. Wow, it just does not look like that when it's not hot. So I'm going to finish out his body. You're leaning sideways, but that's no big deal. Just take it out of the flame and control the glass. Don't let the glass control you if you're watching for learning purposes. One thing to always remember, control the glass, don't let the glass control you. Sometimes when you're in the fire like this, it's like, oh my God, it's moving, what am I going to do? Well, you move it out of the flame, take a deep breath, and then go back to it and control the glass. And that's what I'm working on right now, is controlling this glass, because it's off to one side and I want it at the other side. And I want it straight, so whenever I work on it, it's nice and straight, not off crooked. Yeah, I don't know that you guys can see it or not, but what I'm doing now is moving more glass down towards the tail area, making it fatter down there because it's got a couple skinny spots from where I scraped the glass. So I just want it nice and even. Okay. And I'm going to add the head. First I'm going to straighten up my tail a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to add the head. I know his head looks a little bit big right at the moment, but I'm going to try to work that down. I'll work it down some because it's going to go into the body of the hummingbird. You want that all melted really, really well, one piece. You can't see any join lines or anything. It's all got to be one piece. Now you let gravity work for you. Hold it like this and hold it down so that gravity's kind of giving it its shape. Now I'm going to shape its head. Now I'm just kind of moving the head over a little bit because I want it nice and even with the tail. There. That's what I wanted. Okay, now I've got to find my black. Here it is. Heat that up. And I'm going to pull out the beak. Remember, it's got to be one piece of glass. Can't just be a little piece stuck on there. That beak will fall right off. So if you heat up both pieces and get that really, really hot, I always have mine facing me so that I can see what I'm doing. And then I connect it in the flame, and take it out, let it cool, and then start to pull. I just want to make sure it's nice and straight. I don't want any crooked beaks. I hate that. I don't mind for it to be curved, but I don't want it crooked. Awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to add his eyes. I'm going to use my white. And from where I dented with my pliers, that makes a great spot for his eye to go. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and since my pliers made the marks, I know that it's pretty even that way. Or at least you would think so. Now I'm going to put his pupils in his eyes. Same thing on the other side. Now give the body a good warming, and then I'll melt those eyes in. If I don't reheat this body, it'll crack on me. So I'm going to give it a nice little bath in the heat. Okay. Now I'm going to melt his eyes in. Okay, now I'm going to do his wings. Here he is so far. Now the wings are going to go on. This is all about preference on the wings. This is how I prefer to do mine. If another glass blower is watching, you put them on however you want. Make your own style, your own design. I got people copying now, and their wings are looking pretty good. So now I'm going to have some pretty good competition. But that's alright. Competition's good. Same thing with the wings. You want to melt it into the body. You don't want a wing just popped on there because it'll pop off. And melt that in real good. Then go to the other side. Just building it up to make a wing, and I'm trying to get it the same as the other side so that it's easier to make your wing. This side needs a little bit more added to it. Alright, now to do the wing. Well, first I got to melt this side in so it doesn't crack while I'm working on it. This one's actually a life size. This is about the exact same size as a real hummingbird. Now, there's several ways that you can do these. This is just how I do mine. This gives it the wing, and then you do the feathers. And they get bigger towards the end, so if you do it this way, they get bigger at the end. Then you can make your point. Now we'll try to get the same thing on the other side. I'm just working it into the body really good. Make his wing. Pull a little bit. Heat it back up nice and hot. And then do the feathers. Now you make your point. Heat it up again. Try again. Wasn't hot enough. I kind of like it like that. I think I'm going to leave his wings. But I am going to make the indentions in them. Oops, let me fix this one right here. There. Okay. Now I'm going to cut in for his feathers. Same on this side. Pay attention to your body so it doesn't get cold. You want it to stay nice and hot. Okay, now I'm going to put the hanger hook on. Once again, you got to get that body heated up really, really good and keep your wings out of the flame and keep your beak out of the flame. Otherwise, you'll lose your detail. But you have to get that melted. And you'll know it's melted whenever you see it start running together. And let it cool just a little bit down there and move your heat on up to your rod. Yes, it's getting hot. Woo! Now you're going to let gravity work for you. Just let it fold that on over. Let it cool for a second and then push. Now I'm going to melt it at the base and I'm going to push that in there together so that it's solid. If you leave that bottom of that hook touching your glass, it's going to crack it. You don't want to crack. And just come on in and line up your hook. And I always go back in and just reheat real good. Alright, now I'm going to do the hardest part. Hold your breath. Always the hardest part. If you don't have that puntee on there just right, it can crack your glass or it can just fall off and then you break your glass. Okay, I'm going to heat them up real good and then I'll show you guys. It's finished. Let them cool down just a little bit. See this flour? And that's really going to contrast really well. I love that. Love that new green. Yes, that's a winner for sure. Get this up in my kiln. There we go. Okay, one down. May have to make another one and do it in a solid blue. Let's see, I've got, let's see what I've got. There's a real pretty cobalt. Is that brilliant? Yes, that's a beautiful cobalt. Love it. So I'll do one like that. Same thing with the flour in the belly. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cut one of my rods. Let's see. I've got one right back here somewhere. There we go. I'm just going to cut it. Got little nippers. These are great. So I'm just going to lay it down here and give it a little score with these. And cap it, and then just comes right off. And I'll use this one later. I usually have these all cleaned and ready to go beforehand, but you know, sometimes that happens. Let me open my... Open my door up just a little bit. Some fresh air in here. Alright, here we go again. Get this to melt. Okay, it's melted pretty good. I'm going to clean it up now. I'll get a little bigger belly. Lisa green's emerald green is like my favorite color, except for purple. Purple and green are my two most favorite colors together. I love them. And I love them apart as well. But this green, this is like emerald, a shimmering, a shimmering emerald green. It's just beautiful. I love it. It's an opaque color. It's not translucent. But now this brilliant, it's called brilliant blue. This brilliant blue is translucent. So whenever I get through with it, you should be able to see through the wings. Not like a bunch, but you'll be able to tell. Actually, I already have a rod of it over here ready to go. Okay, so now I'm going to take off some of the scuzz. Just a little water in that cup. Marcy, I use a 33 COE, coefficiency. It's considered as called a hard glass. Pyrex is a brand. The brand that I'm using is called Kimball. It's just a real nice clean glass, which Pyrex is too. And I've used Pyrex a lot too. It just is a manufacturer, different manufacturer. Pyrex, Kimball, Simex. Goodness, there's a bunch of them. So now I'm going to press this. Okay, now I'm going to make my flower, my design. I think I'm going to do a gold and silver fumed flower. Let me find my silver. Let me see. I think I want to do gold first. So I'm just going to hold that gold in the flame and try to catch it onto my glass. I think I'm going to have to adjust it a little bit. That's a real nice thick layer. Now I'm going to go back over it. I'm going to go over it with silver. And I'm going to go over it with gold again. See the pretty colors? See the shine? Right. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my tools. Let me find my tool I want to use. And I'm just going to do the petals using my tool. I can find my tool. This'll work. Now to do that, you have to get your glass hot enough without melting off your fume. So here goes nothing. If you can keep it far enough out of the flame, then you'll stop yourself from burning off the fumes. And then I'm going to do the center, same way. I'm going to give this one lots of little spindly little, oh, what do you call it? The pistil, yeah. I love how some of the flowers have all those little pistils coming out of them. They just look so dainty and just beautiful the way they hang around the tops. I don't know. That's just me, I guess. So that's going to create a lot of little spindly little stamens in the middle. So now I'm going to gold over the top again and trap it up inside those. And then one more time with the silver. Silver fumes way easier than gold. Turn my fan on for just a minute. Run the fumes out of here. Now I'm going to take a clear rod and pull a stringer. I'll find one. There we go. Cut that off. Let that cool for just a second. Usually cools off pretty quick. Especially if I got a fan behind me. Okay, let's see. Alright. Now I'm going to use my clear and I'm going to fill in those areas that I made, those indentions that I made. And that's going to capture those fumes just like I did in the last one that I made. Fuming takes a lot of practice, so if there's any glass blowers that are watching or someone who's wanting to start, don't give up on the fuming part. You just have to play with your torch and your temperatures. You'll get it. I'm self-taught. You can be self-taught too. I'm going to start at the farthest end and work my way over and cover every little dot that I made. Okay, so there's all of that. Give it a nice little press. And I'm going to burn all of that silver and gold off, except for what's trapped. That's going to stay in there. Now I'm going to start working that so that it starts going up. It's already started to implode. All those little pistils have already started. So I'm just going to work it around the sides so it'll implode real nice and slow, and maybe I'll get a lot of real cool design on it. I'm going to go ahead and put the leaves on so that the leaves can start imploding as well. If it starts to go sideways on you guys, don't worry about it. You can fix it. I just wanted to center it back up. Kind of got out of round a little bit. We're back on track though. You learn. Just working those petals in, or not petals, but the leaves in a little bit. My torch tip is brass, so it doesn't hurt it to do it that at all. It makes a really good marber, really. So I want to give these leaves a little character. So I'm going to press them in just a little bit. Same thing on this side. Okay. Cool thing about gold fuming and silver fuming is you can get different colors out of them. You never know really what colors you're going to get until you've made it, until you're done. You can get blues. You can get blues out of silver, different colors, sometimes purples. You can get greens. You can get greens out of gold, out of the gold. Some guys that are fumers, we call them fumers because that's what they do. Is a lot of gold and silver fume work. Some of them can get every spectrum of the rainbow out of gold and silver. I've not been able to achieve that, not that I know of. Maybe on a small scale, but not like they do. But that's their thing. My thing is hummingbirds. I'm sure some people get bored with the hummingbirds, but I don't ever get bored with doing hummingbirds. Just takes time to do these. If you notice, you see me pause for just a second. What I'm doing is actually letting the top of that cool down a little bit more. That pause, just that quick pause, makes a big difference. Okay, and I'm going to start from rounding it off. Starting to close it up. And I'm going to let the top cool. Let you guys see it as it's cooling. Because I don't want to smash that top down any at all. I want it to stay nice and crisp like it is. So it's really pretty and they're way up top. Starting to show. Okay, I got to get it back in the heat so it doesn't cool down too much. I still want those leaves to come out a little bit, and I've got to grab the center of that with another rod to pull that out and make the stem. So that's all I'm doing now is heating up this bottom so that I can smash it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to grab that center. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the green and pull it over. Okay, so now I'm going to melt it into a ball and try to get that stem and leaves come down to a point. And that flower will continue to implode. I want to work the petals out a little bit, so to do that I'm going to have to just take my time and let it bloom. Oh yeah, that did super good. As it cools, you'll be able to see better. The leaves really came up and did what I wanted them to do, so I'm real happy with that. Deborah Davenport from Fort Worth, Texas. Awesome. My son lives in Fort Worth. Very cool. Temple, Texas. Hey, Kenneth, you're watching. Awesome. Hope you're learning some good stuff. So this is going to have some hints of blues, and it'll even change color a little bit from that fuming. It'll actually change depending on heat that I get from what I'm working on right now, from what I'm doing. So, its color's not set in stone yet. This is my blue, called Brilliant Blue. It's really a pretty color. It's a cobalt blue. I'm going to turn make it a little bit quieter. I like that nice even heat. A lot of times I go by sound whether I know it's right or not. I call it a soft roar. This will be the tail. Make sure you melt that in really good so it doesn't crack on you later. Now I'm going to pull it down some because I want him to have a little bit longer tail just like I did the green one. There we go. Just like I wanted it. Awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to do my puntee. Because I don't want it to leave a chunk of glass on this piece or break it, I'm not heating it up near as much as I am the puntee on the left. Kenneth, if you're still watching, whenever I get done, I'll show you how to do a hummingbird my old style. It's a little bit easier than doing them this way. It's actually kind of a good way to start out doing hummingbirds. It just depends on what you envision in your head, because every glass blower has a different idea, which makes it great. So now I'm just going to let gravity pull it down. See how gravity gave that a nice body? Nice and even. Nice even body. Now I'm going to put the head on. Melt the head in all the way. placement is all up to the maker because hummingbirds all hold their heads different. Eye placement and beak placement. Now, let's see, I'm going to make the beak. Got my black. I'm going to have to punchy this up. A little too short. I got to keep my hummingbird hot, otherwise it'll crack. Okay. Warm the bird back up. Keep them hot. Okay, now I'm going to go to the beak. Get my black all nice and hot. But I'm still melting the tip of the beak at the same time. So that's going to melt in and become one piece. Okay. Touch, pause, and then pull. Okay. Awesome. A little bit different flight, but kind of cool. I kind of like that. Like that pose. So now I'm going to put the eyes on. Not where I want it. So I'm going to scoot it down if I can. Way better. I'm going to push this one back just a hair. Sometimes you can fix them, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just got to take the head off and start all over again. This will be the pupil. On the other side. Okay. Now, wings. I'll do a clear hummingbird here in a minute. Kind of my old style, and I'll do what's called a press and pulled wing. Or not press and pulled, just a pulled wing. Some glass blowers, that's the only ones that they make, and I like to do both, but on my colored glass ones I don't want to do both because I think that touch, I don't know, touch and pull, I'm afraid it'd be too fragile. Beautiful though. I don't know, I might make some, just have to work them slow. I'm just going to melt this in right there with that one spot. And I'm just really melting this into the body real well. There's the wing. Now the feathers. Pull it up, and you can pull it back if you want. Let's try this other side and see how close we can get. Kind of letting gravity pull that forward for me a little bit so his shoulder's a little thicker. Making his shoulder pull. Now the wing. Pull. And come back. Gotta come back a little bit more. Pull and come back. This one's a little bit smaller than the other side, so I'm going to make some adjustments to it. Start at the top and work my way down. It really gives it a pretty look whenever you redo it like this. It feathers it more. I'm going to pull this one in just a hair too. Once you get the height on them and all that, then you can work your wings pretty much however you want. He's a little bit bigger on this other side. I think I'm going to take off some of his wing. Now I'm going to feather it. Okay, I'm going to add some to this side. I can't get it to stretch that big for nothing. It'd be way too thin if I did. So I'm just going to add to it. And then I'll fix it. Alright, there we go. Just trying to work the fire marks out of the side. Don't really like that. Okay, now I'll go from the top down and give it a feather. Okay, so now I'm going to fix this side. Warm it up real good so it's all even heat. Then I'll finish them up. Okay, now I'm going to put his wing patterns in. I'm going to give him a hanger and we are good to go. Just trying to get that melted in real good. Let gravity do its thing. And then help it along to finish it off. And then make sure it's together. You don't want somebody's string zipping off of their holder and then breaking. Now I'm going to heat this back up good and I'll show it to you guys. All finished. Double check this real quick. Okay, there we go. It's all finished. Upside down so you can see its belly. It's a beautiful blue. Alright, he's going in the kiln. There we go. Alright. Now I'll make a quick one, a quick clear one to demo how they're done. My daughters are here. You guys get to see Candace.
Hi.
There's Christina. She's gonna hide.
We're a bit scrubby looking. We've been at home with the kids and we need a break.
So they come to see Mom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a clear one real quick, last one, and then so I can see how the clear ones are made, an old style. They crank it.
The original look.
The original, yep. This is going to be his belly. This will be his head. I'm going to shape his eyes. Look, strong one. And I'm going to pull out the beak. Okay. Gonna punty up. Instead of giddy up, we punty up. Now I'm gonna do his tail. This is the first hummingbirds. This is how I learned to make my first hummingbirds. I still make them occasionally. Then make it into a ball. And then press it out. You can do 2, you can do 3, whatever you so choose to do. I'm going to make him with his tail way up and fanned out at the top. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I do the press and pull. Or just a pull, sorry, not press and pull, just pull. So first I do his shoulder. Make sure it's melted in there real good. And then I'm going to touch it and pull and make a wing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And one more.
This quarantine business for the birds.
At least we can go outside and run around.
I'm ready for
And we have the woods to run around. A lot of people stuck in the cities, man, they can't go nowhere.
No, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Uh-oh. Read the sign.
Hi. We're actually not open for business because of
the quarantine.
Oh man,
Yeah.
when you
6
open back up?
6 feet. We don't have a way to keep 6 feet apart in here.
Is you got a cool necklace in there? No. This place is the coolest place ever. Pretty neat. What kind of? Is there like an eagle or anything like that?
I don't have any eagles. Most of mine are imploded flowers.
Or cool flowers? No, one is
A heart. Have an anatomically correct heart.
What's that one? Sugar. I love this place. Is that? It's a straight line when this is a anatomically correct heart. And then this
So that's the touch and pull where you just touch it and pull it, touch it and pull it. And you can do them thicker, you can do them thinner, you can even do them like that, and then use pliers if you want. But I like his tail flipped up too. So I'm going to put a hanger on him and then he's done. Actually, I think I'm going to use him for a wood-based piece, so I'm not going to put a hanger on him.
What is it with tax and all? $19.95.
Just do 20. I'll pay the tax on it. Don't worry about the tax. Yeah, yeah.
There's a string on it right there. Fish string. Thanks. Stay safe.
What?
The big imported rose.
Oh, cool.
It's been here forever.
Yeah.
She has her daughter with her.
Aw. I could watch at the door, but... Alright, guys. This one's going into the kiln. Door service. There we go. Alright, it's going into the kiln, and I'm going to get off of here, hang out with my daughters for a little bit. Love y'all. Have a good day. Ooh, let me back off a little bit. There we go. Bye, y'all. Appreciate you. Love you. Bye. Mwah. Stay safe.